here's the big question. You're interested in value investing and valuing and evaluating businesses on a deep level, but you don't know how, even after researching for hours, probably dozens of hours, hundreds of hours on the internet, and because nobody else shows you how to do it. This podcast has all those answers and much more about value investing in finance. My name is Jason Rivera. Welcome to Value Investing in Your Car.
Hey, Jason here. In this episode of Value Investing in Your Car, we are going to talk about competitive advantages. We're going to further a talk we had in last week's episode about unique ability. In this one, I'm asking you, what is your competitive advantage? I'm explaining what I think my competitive advantages are, why I think it's important for you to figure out what your competitive advantages are, all this kind of stuff. Before we get to that, please remember this podcast is now available, or these videos are now available as a podcast. You can listen to the podcast on all major platforms: Podcast Go, Stitcher, Spotify, SoundCloud, iTunes, Anchor, and more. It should be available everywhere you can listen to podcasts, whether you're on Android, iPhone, or PC. So if you like this content, make sure to listen to the podcast as well, because you can listen to us now for free anywhere. So today, I want to talk about competitive advantages, not in the sense that most people in the value investing, to a larger degree finance as a whole, but mostly value investing concept. You've likely heard the term competitive advantage or moat. Warren Buffett uses it to describe a company that can earn higher margins, higher profitability margins, and keep competitors at bay due to patents, economies of scale like Walmart and Amazon, network effects like Facebook, regulatory effects like the cigarette companies, all these kind of things, and more. Today, we're going to flip it a little bit. I've been thinking about doing a video or an article on this subject of competitive advantages. What is your competitive advantage for a while now? But I thought I would kind of link it up to unique ability, which is what we talked about last week. And you should have a link for that below as well if you missed that episode. They tie in together. Unique ability is essentially, for those who haven't watched it yet, unique ability is essentially figuring out what you do best and then doing that, not focusing on other things, figuring out what you do best and then delegating the rest, delegating or eliminating the rest of everything else. Competitive advantages is similar, but it's different in my opinion. Unique ability is, again, figuring out what you do best and then eliminating or delegating the rest. But how do you figure out what you are best at? In this video, I'm going to give you some, or in this podcast, if you're listening as a podcast, I'm going to give you some examples of where I think my competitive advantages are. And I've alluded to some of these in the past, and these are more general. Some of these are going to be generalized. Some of these are going to be specific to me. In the past, in some videos, articles, I've talked about this actually quite a bit at length, is I think people in my generation, I'm 31, people in my generation and younger, we will have a huge competitive advantage over other people in our generation and younger just by saying please and thank you, being a decent human being, being able to focus, being able to learn well and fast, showing up and doing things on time that you say you're going to do, keeping your promises. What else? These kinds of things are kind of generalized that I think everybody will benefit from. It doesn't matter what you do, as long as you show up on time, keep your promises, say please and thank you. Hard work, that's another one. You're willing to put in hard work. You have learned or you've cultivated the ability to focus. These things will become a huge competitive advantage, in my opinion, over the next 20 to 50 plus years. People in my generation grew up with technology. I didn't have a cell phone until I was 16, but I had video games and stuff like that before then. But people my age and younger, have grown up in the age of internet, smartphones being everywhere, internet being pretty much everywhere, video games constantly. We people generally in my generation and younger want things like that. If it doesn't happen right then, a lot of us get super frustrated. So if you have the ability to persevere, that's another one. If you have the ability to learn from your mistakes and persevere, that's going to be another huge competitive advantage going forward. Again, a lot of it have to do with people in my generation. What is it? I'm a millennial technically, and then there's what's after millennials, Gen Z, I think, and I don't know what's after that. Again, we grew up in the age of technology and get everything like that, and so if you just do things that normal people should do, be considerate, show up on time, do your job well, hard work, focus. If you can do these kind of things, in my opinion, you will gain a massive competitive advantage over people in the coming years and decades. Because again, a lot of people in my generation and younger have short attention spans, and if they don't get it right then, they get frustrated. They don't know how to kind of work through that. So those are kind of most of the generalized competitive advantages. So I'll deal with me, because I don't know what your competitive advantages are. I don't know what anyone else's competitive advantages are, unless there's somebody like Warren Buffett that you can study for long periods of time. But I believe, again, as a unique ability, I believe everybody is great at certain things and they're not great at other things. For me, example, I'm great at capital allocation. I'm great at learning. I'm great at value investing and finance. I'm great at being a dad, great at being a husband. Other than that, not very good at much else, in my opinion. I'm decent to kind of bad at a lot of other stuff. Those things I feel like I'm great at. Other than that, not much. But that's because I choose to focus my kind of talents and abilities where I want them to be focused, where I want to get better and improve, where I want to put effort in. Just putting in a ton of effort. That will be another huge competitive advantage. That's another generalized one. But specifically, what does that mean? What is my competitive advantage? I'm just doing this as an exercise to kind of give you an idea of maybe what you can think of for your competitive advantages. I've trained myself to learn incredibly fast. That's one of my competitive advantages. I've literally been hired for my ability to learn valuable skills very fast. I've literally done consulting jobs where I didn't know what I was doing. A couple of months later, due to courses, my own training, their help, those kind of things, I was doing stuff that people with years of experience are doing. And none of this is to brag. I've put a ton of time into this. I'm just trying to give you ideas of what you may be great at, what your kind of competitive advantages are. Patience is another one of mine. This comes from having 3 daughters under the age of 8, and also my severe health issues in the past. There were literally years of time where I could do nothing other than lay around with my own thoughts and not do anything else other than watch TV, because I felt so terrible. If you've ever had a child, or if you've never had a child ask you the same question 15 times in about 20 minutes. Again, I have 3 daughters. You will have to learn patience very fast, or you'll be frustrated all the time. Literally, as I was walking out here to record this for you, my middle daughter, who just turned 5, she's asked me in the last 10-15 minutes if she could have something else to eat. She's been home from school for about an hour and a half, and she hasn't stopped eating since. She continues to ask me to eat more. Patience, so extreme patience is another one of mine. This shows itself in terms of value investing and investing. I haven't bought anything in 3.5 years because I'm not willing to sacrifice quality in my judgments, or not quality in my judgments, quality in my stock picks and investment picks to lower my results just to buy something. I'd rather put my effort into learning, becoming better, growing my businesses, helping others via training or the courses that we have, stuff like that. Coaching my daughter's soccer team, my oldest daughter's soccer team, which I'm helping do now. I'd rather put my time and effort into things that are worth my time, in my opinion, than to just kind of continually research stocks over and over again when I know pretty much everything is undervalued or overvalued, and it has been for years. Doesn't mean I'm out of the stock market. I still own stocks in the portfolios I manage that I bought before this time period, but I haven't bought anything in 3.5 years because I can't find anything that meets my ultra strict criteria. Why is this important? If you want to buy something all the time, or you just want to buy something to buy something, or you don't have the patience to wait for the quote unquote fat pitch, as Warren Buffett calls them, your results will suffer. This is why my results are pretty spectacular in the investment in terms of investment returns of the last 6 years. Because I'm willing to wait and be patient and wait for something that I know is pretty much a sure deal, or as close to a sure deal as you can get in the stock market. The ability, another one of my competitive advantages, in my opinion, is my ability to persevere. Again, health issues. I've dealt with severe health issues for greater than 42% of my life. There have been a ton of terrible times where I had super dark thoughts, but I just kept moving forward, kept learning any amount I could, kept trying to prove in any way I could. If you can get punched in the face, proverbially, or realistically, if you're in something like UFC or mixed martial arts, and you can get back up, you will have a huge advantage over other people who, when they get punched or something bad happens, just kind of quit or shut down. So perseverance, patience, ability to learn things very fast. What was the other one? I don't remember what the other one was, but I'm just trying to give you examples here to help you as well. Again, I put in a ton of effort in anything. If you watch the behind the scenes series, I will literally do just about whatever I can within legal, moral, ethical guidelines and my kind of principles to get deals done for my clients, to do everything in my power to help my clients, whether it be in real estate, whether it be in my consulting businesses, whether it be in my coaching students, masterclass students, whatever. I will do just about anything in my power, as long as it abides by my principles, to help these people get better and improve their lives. That's another one. So there are a ton of different competitive advantages. So what is this something you may be thinking about is, what is the difference between a skill and a competitive advantage? Competitive advantage, in my opinion, is more of a mindset. Skills are something you can learn: value investing, finance, copywriting, speaking in public, photography. These things are skills, in my opinion. They are important, valuable skills that will help you earn money. But competitive advantages are something that you can develop. And it's more of your mindset, more of your personality. And yes, I believe they can be developed because I've developed them myself. Wasn't great at finance. I used to be incredibly impatient before all my health issues. Incredibly impatient. Used to be incredibly unfocused. I still am to a degree. I think I've never been diagnosed with ADHD or ADD or anything like that, but I think to some degree I have a lot of the tendencies of ADHD because I do something, then I see something else, then I see something else, and I'm kind of all over the place sometimes, or I used to be. I've gotten a lot better at that over the years and focusing and getting things done and prioritizing. But then again, it's taken a lot of training and stuff like that, and learning and implementing and stuff like that. But I believe these competitive advantages can be developed. And again, just saying please and thank you. That's not hard to do. My two oldest daughters, when they want to, when they remember to, say please and thank you all the time. So that's not something hard that will just not only help people it'll not only show that you're grateful for other people, it's just a nice thing to do. And again, I don't know if this is the way I raised, because I know that's part of it, because I was raised like this, but I literally say please and thank you for just about everything. Uh, if you've ever had an interaction with me, whether it's 2 seconds or via email or I've known you forever, you've likely heard me say please and thank you a ton. Or in some kind of sentence, if it's an email or whatever. Just being a nice person, not being a jerk. I actually I'm working on setting up a couple business, a financial consulting business right now that I'll release more information about at some point with some masterclass and coaching program students. And one of the first things I said after we kind of agreed that we wanted to do this was, I will not work with jerks. I will not. It's not worth my time. I don't care how much they pay me. I don't want to work with people that are going to take up a lot of my mental energy. I just won't do it. Again, I think that has a lot to do with my health issues in the past, is that I value time incredibly and energy incredibly highly, because for years, again, I couldn't do anything. I had no energy and couldn't literally do nothing except lay around all day for literally years at a time. So I have a greater appreciation for time and wasted energy than most people do. Another one that I think is a competitive advantage of mine, for another example, and this is something Gary Vaynerchuk talks about quite a bit, is how does he put it? It's the self-evaluation. I don't know if it's how he puts it or one of these other guys puts it like that. It's the ability to look at yourself non-judgmentally and figure out what you're good at, what you're great at, what you're not good at, what you don't want to do, what you should be doing, what you want to be doing, what you love doing, all these kind of things. And it's a very kind of rational look at things. And again, I've had a lot of time over the years, because there was literally years I could do nothing, where I thought about what I wanted to do, what I could be doing, what I love doing, what I didn't want to do with these health issues. So perspective, self-perspective, there we go. There's the wording I was looking for. For example, people who go, I haven't watched singing shows in probably 10, 15 years, but when American Idol first came on, these horrible people who had either told themselves that they were great singers, or that their families have told them they're great singers their entire lives, when they were just terrible. That's being self-aware. And you need to know if you're good, great, bad, shouldn't even be doing it, whatever. You can't delude yourself into thinking that you're something, that you're a great singer, for example, if you're not, especially if you're not putting in the work for it, and you're just told you're a great singer because you have great talent. If you work for anything, I believe you can do anything you want, but you can't be self-deluded and continue to work on yourself, continue to get better, because there's an arrogance that comes in with that, thinking that you're great and that you're a master. I've been value investing for 12 years, plus evaluated thousands of companies from all over the world, and I don't even think I've scratched the surface of my knowledge in this arena, to be honest. I've got the technical kind of foundations down very well, but in terms of industries, specific companies, reading annual reports better, accounting, figuring out accounting rules better, all these things, well, I think I'm very good at them. There's always room to improve. Look at Warren Buffett. He's 84, 85-ish. He still reads supposedly 500 pages of information a day. So if the master of value investing, the best investor ever, doesn't think he has hit his limits of potential in investing, why should you, at the age of 25 or 31 or 52 or 45 or 65 or whatever the age that you are, think that you're a master of anything if he's the best investor ever? Literally turning an initial investment of $100,000 into $530 billion as the last time I checked Berkshire's market cap. It's just insane. And he's still learning all the time. But you can't be deluded. You have to be realistic with yourself and figure out where you need to learn, where do you need to improve. Because if you think you're great and you know everything, that puts a limit on not only your learning, you probably won't learn at all, but your ability to kind of look at yourself in a logical light to see where you need to improve, or where you want to improve, or whatever the case may be. So I hope this talk has helped. Um, Again, I've been thinking about this, doing this off and on for a couple years. Never really thought the time was necessarily right, or just put it off and forgot about it for a while, and then it kind of came back. But I hope you found a ton of value in this. I hope you think about your own competitive advantages, and literally, if you have to, write it down on either a piece of paper by hand, or on a spreadsheet. Put what I love doing, what I'm great at, everything else over here, and then kind of go from there. It's a very kind of freeing, honestly, in a way, exercise that helps you kind of gain perspective on yourself. Again, something we just talked about, and helps you figure out what you love doing, what you're great at doing, and then everything else which you shouldn't be doing or eliminating according to the principle, the concept of unique ability, which we talked about last week. I hope you've enjoyed these two kind of talks about this very similar topic, but just kind of different aspects of it. Hope this has helped you think about yourself, think about how you can improve, what you want to improve, what your goals are, stuff like that. How you want to reach those goals, what kind of valuable skills you want to learn, what valuable skills you need to learn to get better, to reach that next level. I know a lot of people hate writing and hate speaking in public. Those, if you want to be an entrepreneur, are things you probably should learn at some point to do well. If you want to be able to communicate your goals and sell your products and help other people, stuff like that. So I hope this has helped a lot. If you're watching on the blog, make sure to comment below. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure to comment below. I answer all comments myself. Make sure to like, love, share, subscribe wherever you're at. And if you are subscribing on YouTube or on the podcast, any of the podcast channels, make sure to subscribe. And on YouTube, hit the notification bell so you're notified any time we release a new video. As of this recording, I believe we're up over 415 total videos and releasing new videos and content every day. So you'll be notified anytime we release something new on YouTube. Remember the podcast. You can listen on all major platforms. We appreciate you listening there as well. If you have any comments, questions, concerns, anything, let me know, and I will get back to you. I'll answer all comments myself. And thanks for watching. Have a great day. Talk to you soon. Bye.